Hi, this is a video for Veritas 48, and as you can probably tell, I have the same problem that you do with my voice and my throat. Excuse me. I have a question for you, and after I ask the question, I'm going to take a few minutes to explain myself, so that you understand what I mean when I ask the question. Here's the question itself. In a recent video of yours, you mentioned that you do not evangelize on your channel, or have never evangelized on your channel, or practically never, which is true as far as I've observed from watching your videos. My question is, why don't you evangelize? And let me explain why I ask you that. Well, I used to be a Christian, and I was considered by my peers to be a skilled apologist when I was a Christian. In fact, you remind me quite a bit of myself, which incidentally is not meant to be patronizing. I'm not saying that, you're on a journey to where I am and I'm ahead of you, I'm not saying that at all. In fact, I don't think intellectual journeys work that way. And I just want to make clear that that is not what I mean when I say that. But you do remind me of myself at that point in my life, and that is relevant to this question. I was originally asked that, why don't you evangelize, by another Christian. And his reason in asking me that at the time, which is different from my reason for asking you, was to kind of discredit me, because he and I were often on the opposite side of issues. He was a creationist arguing for intelligent design in schools. I was arguing that intelligent design, whether true or not, is not science. We had different attitudes about non-believers and other religions and political issues, and we disagreed on a lot. And what he was trying to do was to paint a picture of me as being in bed with the enemy by challenging me on why I wasn't more of an evangelist, why I didn't preach the gospel to certain people in conversations we were having. And the answer that I gave him, which seemed to satisfy him enough that it stopped his questions, was that I thought my mission from God was more along the lines of apologetics as a defender of the faith than as an evangelist. And this, like I said, this seemed to work. But in honesty, I didn't feel like it was a very honest answer. The truth was, I could not have seen myself evangelizing, because I didn't see any room for it in my view, and it's hard for me to explain why that is. I think it was on some level because I knew that I didn't have any good arguments that were going to convince someone who didn't already believe. Now, I could defeat certain anti-theistic arguments. I could win certain battles, which I was very picky and choosy about the battles I entered. But I had kind of realized at this point that none of the popular appeals worked. The argument from design, argument from first cause, so on and so forth, they didn't work. And that was why I didn't evangelize, because I had observed, correctly or incorrectly, beside the point, it had been my observation that none of the tools for evangelizing were functional on my intellectual level. And I hope that doesn't strike you as conceited or arrogant to say it that way, but I just don't know another way to say it, and I'm trying to be honest. The reason I'm asking you the same question I was asked is because, for one thing, I'm curious as to whether or not you have similar feelings on the issue as I did. For another reason is because I think that the thoughts that were provoked in my mind when I was asked that question, even though they were not the intention of the question, made me a great deal more sympathetic to the non-theist position. and kind of indirectly led to me adopting a position of agnostic deism, which later gave way to atheism. So if you were to say that I'm asking this question as an attempt to win you over into atheism, that wouldn't be entirely untrue, but it wouldn't be entirely true either. It really is a genuine question, asked with genuine curiosity. I hope you'll find the time to answer this question, but I'll understand if you don't. I know that you probably get a lot of messages and videos in your way. But like I said, hopefully you will. I look forward to hearing from you, and you have a good one. And I look forward to your next video one way or the other. Thanks. Bye.